became involved with the campaign for things like DARE graduation and waking up in the morning and having nothing to do and being able to be tucked in at night and not feel like you're scared or in pain. I think those are some things that Kaylee's family has wish that they could take those things for granted.
Well, I got involved with the Woman of the Year campaign because finding a cure for cancer and ensuring that people who already have cancer have the things that they need and the comfort for them has always been very important to me in my life.
I really wasn't planning on being a candidate, but I just wanted to help out in any way because I'm a 16-year survivor of lymphoma.
I got involved with the Man of the Year campaign in memory of my daughter Amanda, who lost her battle on Christmas Day of 2007. And the Leukemia Lymphoma Society has been a real strong point for my wife and myself, and the rest of my family as well, to preserve her memory and her wishes for the future.
I had a best friend from high school, and she was diagnosed with leukemia at age 26. And that's just so young, and you know, it's just not in anybody's plans when they're at that age. And she eventually died at 32, which is still even young. 26 and 32 is pretty young for any kind of battle like that. So I'm fighting on her behalf. Her husband nominated me, which I'm honored to do.
I'm kind of related to it a little bit with my brother-in-law having leukemia when he was a young child. So kind of brought that back, and so anything that we can do to, or I can do from my small part, you know, to be able to help him and raise money for the society is a great thing.
Two of my friends and one of my coworkers, they've all lost children to cancers, two of them blood-related, one other one. They were all 12 or younger, so it was my first time experiencing anything like that. I was only 12 myself when I had a buddy who lost his 6-year-old brother who was on my brother's t-ball team. And I believe that was the first time I ever saw my father cry.
In 2008, when I was still working as the news anchor for ABC and Fox 45, I was assigned to cover a young man who had recently been diagnosed with ALL. And he was a standout football player at Vandalia Butler High School and just an all-American son and teenager and talented and just with the most amazing future in front of him. And I grew close to their family as I covered his story as he fought cancer for 19 months before losing his battle, and attended his funeral. And just watching the faith and the strength that that family had through that experience, that Blake still impacts people today, even though he's not here. And so when I read that you could have an LLS research-funded project named either for yourself or your team, I asked if I could name it for him. And I was told that I could, and so that's why I decided to do it.
I got involved because my uncle has MDS, and he's in need of a bone marrow donor. So it's been my goal to help raise awareness within the Black community because less than 8% of the donors are Black. And if I can help raise more awareness and help save a life, that's my ultimate goal.
My personal connection with cancer and why I wanted to do this is I've lost both of my parents to cancer. My mother was one of the first trial of Gleevec before it was approved. It did not save her life, but they made a lot of strides during that initial test with it, and then they tweaked it and they came up with a second form of Gleevec.
The research they're doing may also help other people in other diseases, such as diabetes, and my son's a diabetic, so that's important to me.
Amanda did not pass of a blood cancer or a leukemia lymphoma-based cancer. The reason we decided to get involved with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society is because LLS provided the financial support necessary to do the research of the drug that would have saved her life.
My mom has multiple sclerosis, so they've developed drugs that have been treating patients with multiple sclerosis as well. So that's been huge. I'm like, this is like a win-win for me. It's like I can help my uncle find a donor for his MDS, and then hopefully, you know, the drugs that LLS is working on can also help find a cure for multiple sclerosis that my mom has.
A good friend of mine was given 25% chance and beat it, and it was directly because of a drug that was financed through this group to help him overcome that. And I think I've learned a lot more about the percentages, the degree to which the money goes toward finding a cure and the research to help people get through this. When you look at the statistics, it's pretty impressive. This group definitely knows what they're doing. They know how to raise the money, and then when you get the money, they really do a good job of making sure it goes in the right hands.
The bottom line numbers that LLS carries, the amount that they give per dollar, is pretty staggering. And I think a lot of other fundraising charities don't meet those numbers. They seem top heavy. So I do believe in the way that they do this, to have the volunteers and do a national campaign, because they're not spending a lot of the dollars raised on events and parties, and I think it's a great way to do it.
I knew a little bit about it going into it, but I didn't know what a great community it is, how they rally together and just fight.
In the beginning, it seems overwhelming. It really does. It seems overwhelming. There's a lot of different moving parts to it, but when you get it all broken down and what really happens, you get more out of it than you put into it.
You know, I thought I knew the basics of LLS, but it doesn't even scratch the surface. What you learn about the mission and the research and how important that research is if we are going to find a cure, and you have to believe that we are.
The question is no longer, do you know anybody with cancer? It's, who do you know with cancer? And there's not a single person that I speak to that doesn't know somebody who's been affected.
Well, I got to tell you, in my life, I get so caught up in my own things, I forget about others. So having done this has been a very fulfilling experience and helping other people.
I've been overwhelmed by support and friendship. Friends who I hadn't seen in years have come out to events and showed their support. They have let me know that they are there for me.
I've reconnected with a lot of people who I haven't seen or spoken with in a long time, who've been very, very generous.
The best part about this campaign was feeling like my friend was with me the whole time. So it's been nice to have her with me through this journey. A long, hard journey, but nothing that compares to the journey that she was on.
The best part of the campaign, I think, is just knowing that there are more people like me that have gone through this, and the heroes in their courageous fight, and how inspirational they are and how brave they are.
The willingness of individuals was heartwarming.
It's become, over the past 8 or 9, 10 weeks, whatever it is, it's been really fulfilling. So actually, I'm getting more from it than I'm giving back to it. So.
I think the best part of being involved with the campaign is really feeling that you're making a difference.
Just the wonderful gratitude of human beings in a time of such a great cause has been fantastic.
It's a wonderful organization, wonderful society, and anything that we can do to help, that's what we're going to do.
Those who choose to enter the Man and Woman of the Year campaign don't do so lightly. We do it with full commitment to the people that we are commemorating. These people fought a valiant, valiant fight, and it's up to us to complete that fight.
Win or lose, this has been one of the most amazing times of my life.
It's great when people come together and fight.
You will grow on a lot of different levels from doing this, because something that's worthwhile is supposed to be difficult.
I'd like to thank my team. I'm so surprised by them and so grateful for everything that they've done.
The person or persons that I would like to thank, I guess, is the heroes for the campaign. There are a lot of people who've done a lot of work here, and a lot of people who've stayed up late hours and, you know, sort of racked their brain on what they could do to be successful with this and to make a difference. But it's nothing compared to the work that's on the shoulders of those heroes and their families. So if I was going to thank anyone, it would be for them, for fighting and for inspiring all of us to fight, to win, to beat this thing.